Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to episode 1 of my new Q&A series. What I'm going to do here is just take questions from you guys from YouTube and provide answers for them in video format. So, let's get started. I'm going to open up your questions just using my Creator Studio app on my phone, and we'll see what you guys want to know. So, if your question doesn't make it into these videos, it's not that I don't like you. I might not, I don't know, but that's not the reason. It's because I can only put so much into these videos. So don't worry about it. I'll answer your question one way or another. Alright, what do we got here? Okay. Do you mind? Get out of here. Sheesh. Alright, so someone wants to know how to remove the grain pattern from... Really? Alright, so on my videos about how to spray your guitar with spray cans, the most recent series there, someone has asked how to remove the grain look so that it doesn't show through the paint job. And what I did in that series was just sprayed directly onto the wood with some open grain on it, and the pattern came through, which is what I was going for. If you're trying to avoid that, what you want to do is fill the grain first. So I do have a video on how to fill grain using paste wood filler. That's probably the easiest way. You just fill it in with the wood filler, relatively thin, and then sand it flat. And that should give you a nice even surface. Once you seal it, you shouldn't have any issues with the grain coming through. Alright, what else have we got? Alright, next one we've got someone who says they've read a lot about painting with metallic paints and spraying and dusting it on from a distance. And when I sprayed my metallic paints in the video in question here, how to get an even coat of paint with spray cans, I just sprayed it from a normal distance. So what's the difference? That dusting it on from a distance is a technique that's used, I forget what they call it, drop coat maybe? I think it's a drop coat, yeah. It's a technique that they use to get, what the hell? Yeah, to get even dispersion of the metallic particles, the pigment in there, the pearlescence essentially. So they do the normal coats first to get coverage, but the problem is you've got your fan pattern, right, and the pearl part of the paint kind of concentrates in specific areas of that pattern, and you can end up with stripes if you're not careful. So an easy way to kind of even it out is once you've done that, and while that last coat is still wet and kind of flashing off, what you do is you just dust it on from a distance to get an even sprinkling of the metallic particles, kind of. So that's the purpose of that technique. It can be done with spray cans as well. If you put on your nice wet coat and then kind of dust on a little bit from the top, you just have to be concerned with whether the paint has already started to dry, because if it does do that, then those particles that you dust on from the top are not going to stick properly. Next. A lot of people not so much asking questions. One guy on my how to paint a fade with spray cans said I should cut a knife out of it, and I've had a ton of people say that they're going to use that to paint knives, which is interesting because I don't know how you keep a knife sharp with paint on it. None of my knives have paint on it, but hey, whatever works. Paint what you want. My cousin painted a bee one time. It looked bionic, but then it died. Don't do that. Alright, last one for today. Had a couple people actually ask me this recently. Somebody's asked what vinyl cutter I use for my masks for airbrushing. I use a big, like 54-inch Mimaki. It's really not appropriate for a hobbyist. I only have access to it because we have one at the shop that we use for large-scale projects, and it's a printer and cutter. So it prints big banners and posters and like vinyl to laminate signs and stuff. So yeah, Mimaki seems like a great brand to me because that one works well, and we have another Mimaki printer that works quite well. So if there's a small hobby-ish version, then that seems like an appropriate choice. The one that I use I would imagine is prohibitively expensive, particularly for a hobbyist. I know at one point we had a very small, I think it did 12 or 16 inches. My God, this cat is ridiculous. Callie, take it easy. Anyway, we had a small plotter It didn't do any printing or anything, and it was made by Roland. It did like 12 to 16 inches, if I'm not mistaken. But I don't know what the product number was on it. So, sorry. That's also an option. It worked worked well. Also, it did make some pretty funny noises, though. It sounded like an alien landing whenever it was running. If that makes any sense. All right, that's it. Hope that was helpful. Keep sending your questions in, and we'll do some more of these next time. See you then.